Alright, looks like I'm live now. I'll just give it a couple minutes and I'll send notification out to my Discord. Okay. Well, anyway, hello everyone, I'm Master Paladin, and I think it's finally time we finish the first Final Fantasy in the collection. And I just go ahead and get started. Okay, so before I get started, there's just a couple of things I want to explain. I did do a little bit of grinding in between this session and the previous one. My levels are a lot higher. I did that on purpose to rig some strong HP level ups and good stat level ups for some of my other units to catch them up. In the meantime, I managed to find the Wormek, which is this guy. Really powerful dude. You find him at the top of the Sky Fortress, like on the bridge right before Tiamat. I just happened to run across him and put a short video on YouTube of that encounter, so you can just check it out there if you're interested to see what the fight is like. I also covered a couple of other ones that were missing. You can just find them in some of the previous areas that we're in. The wiki has a good resource on that. So we just have these 9 left to get that achievement. They're all located in the Chaos Shrine. I probably won't get all of them before the final boss, but what I'll do is we're going to do one run through of the final dungeon to get the last treasure chests. Then I'll retreat out and save, and then we'll go and fight the final boss. So now I'm at level funny number. And if we look, you'll see that our stats are a lot better now. So I've still got 30 levels left before the max. And even our Black Mage is like over 800 HP now. So if we look at our current set of stats for everyone, they're actually pretty good. Like 26 intellect is not bad for a knight. Obviously it could be much better, but it could be much worse too. So overall, I'm really happy with the party's progress. I know even the Black Wizard has at least, I think he has 2 strong HP level ups guaranteed on his level chart. So I believe everyone should be able to hit max HP naturally now. So yeah, here comes the True Chaos Shrine run number 1. If you're having any trouble hearing me at all, let me know in the chat. Let me just double check. Okay. Sorry, I had to click off there for a second. There we go. You focus the light of the 4 shining crystals, fire, earth, water, and wind, on the black crystal. The flow of time surges and space begins to warp. Just one step forward, and you will travel back 2,000 years in time. Yeah, so the deeper lore of the game is the big bad Chaos. Yep, we're finally going to kill Chaos. He had actually sent the four fiends into the present from 2,000 years in the past. And so in order to prevent Chaos from doing that again, we gotta go back in time and kill him. Like, the reason why will be made a little bit clearer. Anyway, we just go down the right path to dead end. So here's the first unique enemy that we gotta kill, and that's the purple worm. A little bit strong, but otherwise no big deal. Great source of XP. Actually going to use the mage staff here because they're weak to fire. Yeah, and then after we beat the final boss and see the credits, I'll go back to the save beforehand, and we'll try to hunt down for any of the remaining Bestiary entries. And then that should finish us off from Final Fantasy 1 and get us ready for Final Fantasy 2. This is the biggest dungeon in the game, but it doesn't take that long to navigate. And here we have our first forced boss encounter. This is the Death Eye, or as I like to call him, Easy Peasy. He only gives 1 gil and 1 EXP. He does sometimes have a chance of dropping an elixir, but it's pretty rare. And with this new, it used to be a forced encounter tile, but they changed it, so farming it's a lot less likely in this version. But in all honesty, you don't really need dry ethers and elixirs and the X potions in this game. Oh. Okay, so that's bad. It is a bit of a troll fight, but if you are slower than it can be devastating. He does have full party, like, instant kill spells. Alright. Yeah, I think it's fine for now. So here the path is blocked, and remember that loot that Sarah gave us at the beginning? Yeah, this is what it's used for. And yes, it's a lute, which is a string instrument. It's not a flute, it's a lute. L-U-T-E. It's a really fascinating instrument, you should look it up. And there's a Rios, or 2 of them. They're just stronger chimeras. Nothing else really to say about them. And they drop the power staff, which is useless to us. I could just sell that for Gil, but in my grinding, I hit the Gil cap, so it's really not a big deal. So we go up here to the left and up these stairs, and then just follow the path left. There's a lot of dead ends that you do need to be careful about. I'm gonna swap to Blazara. And we're about to level up already. I believe like after level 50, the experience requirements kind of freeze in between levels. That's a good level. It's a good level, not a great HP level, but it'll suffice. I'll take it. And good level. I'm happy about that. Good levels for everyone. Okay, so go ahead and throw a heal here. Actually, I'll throw a second one. So we just follow this path all the way around. Yeah, too bad that's not... This isn't the floor where we'll encounter an Iron Golem. That's the only common enemy we have, or regular enemy that we have left. The rest are forced bosses, but we won't get that until like the second to last area in the dungeon. And even then, it's got like a ridiculous spawn rate. It's like the same spawn rate as the War Mech. But you may notice on this floor we're fighting a lot of Earth Elemental enemies. Looking a little bit sus. I wonder why we're fighting a bunch of Earth enemies here. But yeah, when you know where you're going, it's a very straightforward dungeon. But if you don't have the map or anything, you can run into a lot of dead ends and it can be confusing. This is one of the enemies that I missed throughout the regular playthrough that I went back and hunted for. It's a Basilisk. If you want to know where else you can fight them, you can fight them on the overworld map where Bahamut's Cave is, on the Cardia Islands. Now what's this? Oh no, it's Lich! Again! Well, that's not good. So yeah, he's back, only now he's no longer weak to fire. If I recall, he also has the Flare spell. So there's really no point in using... He does still have instant death spells. I think he has Earthquake now too, so I'm going to throw a Null All on my fighter. The other three characters have ribbons, he doesn't. Everyone has a Protect Ring, which protects from instant death, but Earthquake is an instant death spell that's treated as Earth Elemental instead of Death Elemental, so it can still hit. Hence why I put Null All on. Let me put Temper. And then I'm just gonna have cast Holy. and flare. And boom, dead. The white mage was the MVP in this fight. But it also helps that he didn't get flare out this time around, but you know, once I get all the treasures, I plan to retreat back out for one final save. Before we actually take on the final boss, so we will have to fight these guys again. Like, they're not like one-time fights. You do have to refight them every time. Now this floor does have like 4 of the... There's 5 more chests left, and this floor has 4 of the 5. So we'll be at this floor for a little bit. Yeah, I'm just glad it's almost the weekend, finally. I enjoy my set schedule, but it also makes the weekend more fun to look forward to. So this is our second and final Protect cloak, which means our white mage finally has a shield. I'll take the like 0.5% reduction in evasion for it, because he definitely needs that physical defense boost. Because even with the much higher HP, like, the mage's durability is still worse. So anything that boosts that durability all the more is better. And yeah, the dragon enemies do suck. Unless something comes up, I do plan to do at least some streaming over the weekend. Exactly, we protect our mages. But I hadn't been doing Kingdom Hearts 3 for a while because I needed to get a replacement capture card because it's been having trouble. And the one that came in ended up being a complete, like, it like was absolutely terrible in terms of quality. So I had to send that back, but I did find a workaround to get my old capture card working again. So I might be able to do more TH3 soon. Well, that's a pointless level up. Well, mostly pointless, I should say. That's a good one. That's a great one. That's okay. Not bad level ups, but could be better. But anyway, the point is, I should be doing more KH3 streams soon. I just don't have like a definitive, time of when I plan to do them. Just that they are coming. I just need you to be a little bit more patient. Okay, so we got a Protect Ring, which we'll just sell later on. Like, we're pretty much finalized in our equipment. Almost at this point. Especially once we get these final 2 chests will be finalized in our setup. Yeah, there isn't an achievement for hitting level 99, which thankfully is still the level cap. But there is an achievement for hitting level 50, which is really straightforward. I didn't see a point of showing that on camera. But if you don't like the level ups you got, then you could just retreat back to the title and just reload your last save, and then just try again. So if you feel like the RNG screwed you a bit, you can retry for a better chance. So we got a second Sasuke's Blade. These are the Sasuke's Blade is ninja exclusive, and since we only have one ninja, but it's good for those who have more than one ninja, if they already got the one from the Sky Fortress. So we should just have one treasure chest left, and that's a couple floors down. It's like right before the final boss. Yeah, let's go kick the teeth in of Merilith. Merilith hasn't really changed at all from the previous fight, just higher stats. I do know that she's no longer vulnerable to confusion, or can no longer be confused. She has like complete immunity to it now. But otherwise the strategy is just the same. Welcome back, Adair. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, Adair, but you kind of got buffed. In between the 2 streams, I took us out level grinding, and I may have rigged a few HP level ups for you. Alright, so she's still very strong physically, so I'm gonna throw on the white robe, haste, Proterra. Yeah, I caught up on being RNG screwed on the level ups, and then some. So we're actually pretty blessed in terms of stats. Okay. Now I'm gonna use Giant's Glove, then a Heal Staff, then Null All, and then Temper. Yeah. The magic attacks aren't that bad, so I'm not going to even bother trying to null blaze it, because our level is high enough that our hidden magic defense stat is kind of through the roof. Alright, now to spam attacks and our strongest spells. And dead. Easy as pie. 2 refights down, 2 to go. And 1 more chest. The Deep Eyes was another one I missed before, but had hunted down off screen. So you can find them here on this floor if you're still not sure. They have a very small chance of appearing in the Sunken Shrine. Yeah, I think out of all my characters, the Black Mage got the most RNG screwed in terms of bad level ups, but still turned out really good. Like, every one of my characters turned out really good. I just think the Black Mage had a bit of bad luck for a while. Then the Ninja probably got the most screwed after that. I think the one that was actually the most blessed was my Knights. Just had pretty solid stat ups throughout most of the game. Like that. Oh good, that's a strong HP level up. He'll max out for sure. That's almost a perfect level up for the Ninja. I was just talking about the Ninja having bad level ups for a little while too. And almost perfect. Only missed stamina, but that's a bit irrelevant at this point in the game. Agility, that's good to have for the Light Mage. And of course, more intellect and luck for the Black Mage. Thankfully, the Black Mage's weak HP level ups at this point are actually enough that he'll hit max HP before level 99. So I don't really need to worry about his HP growth much anymore. At this point, I'm more worried about the remaining stats. And there's no real strategy for level grinding. It takes just as much time to hit level 51 as it does to hit level 99. So we don't really need to go into depth about grinding. Just save right before each level up, and then if you're not happy with the level up you got, just reset and try again. Like, that's the best way to just go for rigged, or for rigged level ups, if you're really into that min-maxing thing. Though, you don't really need to worry about it too much if you value your sanity. But it's there as an option. Alright. Same thing, this guy most likely has Blizzaga now. Yeah, the thing is, the game is perfectly balanced around only the like guaranteed level ups you get on the chart. So the game is definitely possible, even if you have like absolutely the worst luck and got like no like lucky growths, and just go by the fixed charts. Like, if you just go by the fixed level up charts for each class, the game's perfectly balanced around it. So you can, you know, beat it with no issue at all. You just might need to, if you just have a little bit too much bad luck, you just might need to power level a bit more than you normally would. That's the only real difference it makes, in my opinion. Okay. Oh. Nope, not gauntlets. He's no longer weak to electricity. Just so you know. I'm gonna have him temper himself. And then Furaga. And then I'll start doing the flare immediately. Oh, he has Thundara now, too. That's kind of funny. Honestly, and I think it's kind of weird, but I think the version that's most viable for wanting to rig level ups is the NES version. Because in that game, it is capped at level 50. So rigging as many strong HP level ups is probably advised in that version. Because if you want to hit max HP on the NES version, you have no choice but to rig those level ups. And some would probably disagree, but I would argue that HP is the most important stat in Final Fantasy I. At least until you max it out. But, you know, a lot of enemies just can outspeed you throughout the game, you know, regardless of your agility stat. You're going to be very accurate with your attacks anyway. So just being able to tank and survive hits is more important than anything else in this version. So that's the third one down. Let's do a Hilaga. I'm gonna top off with Cure. So then this is the last, or second to last floor, but it's the last one in our current run that we're gonna do. And then we'll just retreat. I'm so used to having the black robe equipped. But we're gonna go down this way. Like normally you just go to the right from the stairs. But the final chest is on this long path past here. Dang, it's not an Iron Golem. If that had been the Iron Golem, then that would have been it. This is the floor where we can find the Iron Golem, which is the last normal enemy I need to find for the Bestiary. But it's like a 1.6% chance of finding him. So most people will not encounter it casually. And in terms of Bestiary, outside of... we just have the Iron Golem, and the Tiamat refight, and then the final boss. But anyway, this final chest here contains the last... or contains the best weapon in the game, and that's the Masamune. The unique thing about the Masamune, it is the strongest weapon in this version of the game. It has the highest... I believe it's tied... No, it has the highest attack and accuracy stat. But it can be equipped by any character class, regardless of whether they're promoted or unpromoted. So if you wanted to turn your Black Mage into more of a physical fighter, you can do so. Same with your White Mage. And I know many people will give it to the Black Mage, which is a good choice. I'm actually going to give it to my Ninja, because the Masamune, like, my style of combat in this game is the majority of my attacking is going to be done by my really strong physical fighters. So I find it's just easier to just let them take care of it. And the Sasuke's blade is strong, but I feel like the Masamune really brings out Ninja's full potential as a physical attacker. But you can literally do whatever you want with that sword. As long as you give it to somebody, then it'll have been a good investment for the Masamune. Alright, let's go fight Tiamat and then we'll retreat to the safe point. So I don't know. I don't know if this version has clear save or not. But I just want to top myself out at the end really quickly anyway. Lots of stone golems, but no iron golems. It's always one. There's always one enemy in a Bestiary entry that is difficult to track down. And there's Tiamat. Tiamat hasn't really changed at all, just no longer vulnerable to break. Not that it helped me in my last fight against him anyway. So I'll just buff my physical resistances. Terra. Okay. It's the same strategy. Cast Saber. Temper. Let's do Hilara. And then... yeah. Oh yeah, I think after this I need to throw Null All. I don't remember if this version... I think Tiamat has Scourge, if I recall. I should throw Null All on just in case. Okay, Fyra, that's not bad. Laga. And there we go, pretty easy. And then if you step in, you see this is the final floor. But we won't advance any further for now. The return trip back here without doing any of the chests will be much faster. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and exit. And then we're going to hit the end. As you may have noticed, we're all capped out on Gil. So, not a very big cap. Gil is pretty easy to obtain in this game. And it actually becomes pretty irrelevant pretty fast. Like, especially once you've gotten all the spell upgrades and stuff. It's really only relevant for stocking up on items. Now then, said, Wow, it won't even let me sell it because I've got too much money. That's kind of funny. Like, I was just gonna sell off that power staff to top up on the guild, but it wouldn't even let me do that. That is very interesting. Alright, now it's time to fight the final boss. Then again, if I get like a really perfect level, because I'm about to level up again, if I get like an absolutely absurdly good level up, I might just cast exit and just repeat the process. Just for a quick save. Anyway, back 2,000 years in time, again. Yeah, it was decent, but they could have been better. By the way, that should have been all the treasure chests. I don't know if the achievement spawned yet or not. I wasn't paying attention. But if not, that's not a big deal. I'll figure it out. Like, the only real difference in the chests here is that there are no more linked chests. Because in other versions, if you open like one chest and a linked chest, then the other chests will be opened. But they all contain the same item, so it's not that big of a deal. In this version, they're all separated chests, so you do need to go open all of them. And that was another thing that I did off screen. But yeah, since we came back, the boss spawns returned. But, you know, farming them is... there's really no point in doing it in this version, because you'd have to leave the dungeon and come back. Excuse me. But yeah, as you can see, even in the final dungeon, we don't really need to be that liberal with items. So as long as you know where you're going, you'll be fine. We do gotta refight the 4 fiends, but you know, there's really no inherent difference. Or, you know, we've already done it before, we can do it again. A gold needle we don't even need. Honestly, because our levels are so high, along with our equipment, our magic defense should be to the point where we should never get hit with any status ailments anymore. Like, usually by the time my characters hit 50 with our current gear, I pretty much never see status ailments hit. Like, it's extremely rare, if at all. So I actually really get shocked if I see a status ailment hit at this point in the game. They would probably still hit in the NES version, though. But the NES version be cheating like that. And Ninja got a good level up, but that's about... Oh! Oh, never mind, the 4 fiends are gone. Okay, that is another change in this version. I'm so used to fighting them repeatedly because they used to be force encounter tiles. But I guess that got changed too. Not sure how I feel about that. Well, I won't complain, it just means I get to the final boss faster. To be fair, there's really no point in fighting them again after the first time, if it was possible to avoid them. Because they don't give much experience, and the only decent item drop was from the Lich, which had a small chance of dropping the Dry Ether. So yeah, leveling up takes no time at all. Which is one thing I like, but it does make the game pretty easy. Okay, level up's been pretty average, I noticed. Alright, we're at the top floor again. Now it is time. So before we step in, our MP is topped off, so I'm just gonna spam high potions. Of which I only had to use 5. So yeah, before we step forward, let's take a look at our final army. Got our Knight with the Excalibur, an Aegis Shield that protects from poison and stone, a Protect Ring that protects from death, Dragon Mail that reduces fire and ice damage, and a diamond helm, which I think reduces thunder damage. The Excalibur, it's Knight's exclusive and deals effective damage to all enemy types, which is why it's been so strong. Lucian the Ninja with the Masamune, an ice shield to reduce ice damage. That's the best shield you can have equipped. A Protect Ring, a diamond armlet for defense, and a ribbon to prevent status ailments. Loberon has a Thor's Hammer, can cast Thundara. The Protect Cloak is the only shield he got. The Protect Ring protects from instant death. Ruby Armlet for defense and evasion, and the ribbon for status protection. And then Adair the Black Wizard has Cat Claws, decent weapon. Protect Cloaks is only shield. Protect Ring protects from death. Ruby Armlet for defense, and a ribbon for status protection. Maxed out magic. Overall, everyone's stats are really good. And at level 75, you know, we should have no problems at all with this final boss. He'll still be a tough cookie. Ah, well, don't you look familiar? Do you remember me? I was once the most renowned knight of Cornelia. 2,000 years from now, you killed me. I am Garland. Oh, you did defeat me then. But the four great forces saved me by sending me back through time. Once here, I sent the four fiends into the future, where they shall once again use the four great forces to send me into the past. In 2,000 years, I will remember none of this. But I will be reborn again here. So even as you die again and again, I shall return, born again into this endless cycle that I have created. And here it is. It's time to kill Chaos. So this guy has like all the best elemental attacks and physical attacks in the game. So we gotta throw on our defenses as fast as humanly possible. Terra? But as you can see, even that, he still hits really hard. Okay. So I'm going to use Giant's Glove. Robe. Cast Null on the fighter, because I don't want him to die to an earthquake. And I will toss a high potion. I could use all the other Null spells, but I'm better off just using Null all. Like on one character at a time. Let's go with Heal. I'll have both of them use Heal. I want to wait until he tries to heal himself before I go for an attack. Because he has Curaga. Or Curaja. Yeah, he has Curaja. Healing Helm. We're stacking the Invisras to help dodge physical attacks more easily. Oh, okay, it missed. Actually, never mind, we're not going to do that then. In that case, time to put you back on the heal train. And then go on the offensive. Blazara, that's interesting. I figured he'd use Blazzaga. I'm almost expecting him to use one of his major elementals. And I believe he has a more powerful version of Flare called Nuke as well. Let's do Holy instead. And now he's hasting himself. That's bad. Actually, in that case, since I'm at full HP, I should have Loberon throw Protera. Another Protera on, if he can land it. I don't think this spell misses, but I've been proven wrong before in the past. You missed. You missed your Slowra. Yeah, okay. Let's throw one more on for good measure. That should keep my characters safe from physical attacks. In fact, I think the fight will be pretty much free after that. I always like the background that they have for this final battle. It's pretty sick. Actually, yeah, I think Pilara is fine. I should save Pilaga for a bit. Hasting again. Interesting. Yeah, for some reason the null all spells seem to... I think the null all spells are checking for accuracy when... or checking, like, my character's evasion stat when they shouldn't do. I think it's a bug. Like, I think that's why they were missing, because in all previous versions of the game, it's never missed before. Like, I'm actually confident that it's a glitch. I'm gonna join in with Holy. Yeah, that haste is really hurting me in terms of getting hit. Oh, he also has like 20,000 HP, so don't be too shocked. Yeah, like, if you go back to when I did the first Tiamat fight, like, that's exactly what happened. It just missed every single spell. So I'm pretty sure it's just... I'm pretty sure it's just an accuracy bug. I think it's supposed to ignore the accuracy check that it does with other moves, but for some reason it's not doing that. So, I think it's just a bug where it's just where it's doing an accuracy check when it shouldn't. That would be my best guess. Oh, there's his flare spell. That's gonna hurt. Thankfully, I had a Hilaga prepared. Okay, he's got one more flare spell. There's a Blizzaga. Let's see. Blizzaga is not going to do enough damage to him. I'm going to have him be a backup attacker. Let's do... yeah, Lucian does. He has the Masamune. I'm gonna... Okay, well, maybe I'll just have you be a backup healer then. Oh, never mind, he's dead. We finally killed Chaos. And we ended his vicious cycle once and for all. Now for the 1987 style video game ending. Yeah, he got the killing blow with Masamune, I just realized. That's pretty damn cool. Killed it with the strongest weapon in the game. The time loop was severed at last. The endless struggle that raged over 2,000 years had ended, and peace prevailed once more. Also, I read a lot faster than this text comes up, so I'm sorry. The light of the 4 crystals restored the forces of wind, water, earth, and fire. It was a mere trick of fate that had given rise to the chain of Garland's wrath. But magnified by the 4 forces meant to guide our worlds, that trick of fate also gave birth to the fiends. The 4 fiends. Monsters had run rampant as the world sank into darkness. But all that is now past. With the 4 forces flowing as they were meant, the warriors prepared to cross time and return to the world they knew. A world where Princess Sarah, Queen Jane, and even Garland himself await. When was this fateful day that sent time spiraling into a loop? None can say. Probably because they'd be too confused to comprehend it. It seemed the cycle into which time had fallen would last forever, but the bravery of 4 young travelers changed that. They took the forces that filled the world with darkness and used them to bathe the world in light. None will ever recall the struggle the 4 endured, for the breaking of the chain means that it never existed to begin with. But within the tales of fantasy that people tell, the memory of their deeds lives on. Tales of dwarves and elves, of dragons and shining civilizations that reached for the heavens, even as they fell. And now their return is upon us. With the memory of their struggle buried deep in their hearts, they will quietly watch over our world. Remember always that the forces of the world must be used as they were intended, that the power of light must never be used for dark, and that the true crystals reside in your heart. For you are the warrior who crossed time. I want you to be a warrior of light. You are the bringer of light. And I believe that's the end. Man, what a nostalgia trip. I always get a nostalgic kick regardless of which version of this game I'm playing. To the fans across the globe, both past and present, and to the crew who brought the originals to life, we offer our profound and heartfelt thanks. And there's the credits. So I guess while the credits are going, I guess I'll give my thoughts about this version. And I'm very mixed. On the one hand, it's a very positive experience. It's a faithful recreation of the original version and mechanics, particularly from the Origins version, but definitely rebalanced in many different ways. There were some quality of life improvements that I really liked. Diagonal movement was fun. That mini map is an amazingly good feature. The auto battle mechanic is good for grinding and stuff like that. And I do think the sprites look good. I do think people may feel a bit lukewarm to the changes of the look of the sprites, and they do take some warming up to. But I personally, it took me a while too as well, because I do think in some ways the PSP version looked better. But on its own, it still looks and plays good. But with that said, I'm not a big fan of them reversing the magic mechanic to the way it was to its original form. I preferred the MP system that the GBA and PSP versions had. I feel like they buffed the encounter rate more than they should have. It's almost like it was back to where it used to be, because I felt like there were even more encounters than there normally was. It did save me on guild grinding, at least, but it did make some dungeons a little more frustrating than they needed to be. In the GBA and PSP versions, you could save anywhere, even in a dungeon. This one changed it for permanent saves outside a dungeon only, on the world map, with only quick saves in towns and dungeons. I'm not a big fan of that. I think it could have been handled better. But I think the most disappointing thing is the extra dungeons and content was cut out. It's just like the Origins version with a new coat of paint. And a little bit of rebalancing. Some of the boss rebalancings were surprising. Like some bosses had other spells and abilities that they normally didn't have. Which I think was there to catch a veteran player like myself off guard. And that's actually a positive feature, I think. Because it's not like Final Fantasy IV 3D Remake where they buffed all the enemies and bosses by making them way too difficult. Like way too easy to game over in that game. Like this one kind of like keeps it very well balanced while tweaking some of the enemy attacks and AIs here and there, which was a welcome change in that regard. But yeah, overall, I think it's a good game on its own merit. But would I say it's the definitive version? Probably not. I think the definitive version of the game is probably still the PSP version. And I'll eventually go back to playing that game so I could show off the extra dungeons and bosses that weren't present in this version. But as a standalone game on its own, I think it's perfectly fine. Like, I think it's more or less here for the nostalgia brownie points. So I do think for that reason alone, it's worth picking up. But I do kind of wish that they would have kept it like... If they had just kept it as like the PSP version, but kept the quality of life change improvements that they did include in this version, then it would have definitely been the definitive version. But overall, it's pretty solid. I would definitely recommend it. Do I have any other thoughts? I thought the presentation was pretty good. Music remixes were good. I do think that the text probably could have, like the fonts probably could have been a little bit better. Maybe if it was a little bit bigger with a little more space in the kerning of the font, it would have made it a little easier to read. Because I think on some screens, I can see this text being pretty annoying to read for some people. So that might be another little presentation change. But other than that, I thought that was pretty solid. So yeah, I guess I'll talk about my next plans. So, in terms of my PC games, my next big plan is obviously Final Fantasy II, which should be pretty soon. I do want to try to get a Kingdom Hearts 3 stream in before I start it. But otherwise, that should be coming up pretty shortly. I already have all my notes in place and stuff for what I want to do. It's just going to be interesting how that comes out, because it's really easy to break Final Fantasy II in terms of difficulty. It's like way easy to break it if you know what you're doing. So I don't know whether to just go full on in and just show you how broken it could be, or if I should try to restrict myself a little bit. I don't know. I'd have to think about it for a bit. I play it a bit differently than most players do. Like, I build my characters up mostly different from what most players do. After all this, I should have all of the achievements except for the Bestiary one. And then there's a final achievement for getting all of them. It's basically the Steam version of Platinum. Let's see. Honestly, because it's such a low spawn rate for the Iron Golem, I don't think I'll really farm for it on stream. I might do what I did with the War Mech, if necessary, and just, you know, kind of grind for it off screen and then just do a quick YouTube recording when it does show up. Just so that people kind of know where you can encounter it. But it's on that same floor in the Chaos, in the final dungeon where you fought Tiamat. It's just really hard to get footage of those rare enemies because their spawn rate is just so low. Like, unless you really want to see me run from side to side for like potentially hours on end trying to get a rare spawn like that. I don't know. That would depend on what you guys would want to see. So if you're seeing this on YouTube and you're curious, just leave a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts on that are. I'm just always a little bit self-conscious about how I handle the pacing of my streams. So any feedback in that regard is definitely appreciated. Wow, these credits are going on way longer than I thought they would. Okay. I mean, most likely I could probably skip it, but I do want to see like what's listed. I'm glad they gave Hironobu Sakaguchi special thanks. Special thanks to him for creating an amazing series. Square Enix. Well, hopefully the other ones will be just as good, if not better, hopefully. I won't count on Final Fantasy II having the GBA bonus content, the GBA and PSP bonus content in them. But I think it'll be good on its own. I'm mostly looking forward to Final Fantasy III though. I can't wait to get started on that one when we get there. I guess I could press X here. Data saves progress up to the final boss. I'm gonna save on file 2. There's the achievement for the final boss. Yeah, so it's just missing the Iron Golem. Other than that, the Bestiary's been fully complete. So it looks like just loading the file just takes you to the world map. Yeah, okay, that's good to know. Neat. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm going to go ahead and call it good here for now. I will see you guys in Final Fantasy II. Yeah, have a good night.